Hello everyone, in this video we're looking at this car here. This is a Volkswagen Tiguan and it's a 2-litre turbo diesel. And the specification is what's called a trend line. So in this video we're going to have a look at the features that are on the outside of the car. And we're going to have a look at the features that are on the inside of the car, and then we're going to go for a quick drive in the car as well. And if there's any information you want, 086 843 1945. Brian is my name, Fitzpatrick's Garage, Kildare town. And we are a family-run business in operation for almost 70 years, which is good peace of mind when you're spending a lot of money on a car. You want to know there's good backup service. Anywho, let's get started on looking at the features that are on the outside of this 2-litre turbo diesel trendline Volkswagen Tiguan. Starting off the front, actually it's the first one of these that I've had here as a trade-in at the garage, so I am unfamiliar with this car, so do bear with me. I'll do my best to run around what's on the car from what I see. Anyway, the first thing I like on the back of these cars are the taillights. They're a nice LED finish, so I think they look pretty smart. And the other thing I always like on Volkswagens is little exhaust tip. It's only a small thing, but I actually think quite nice looking on the back of the car. In terms of parking sensors, we'll see on the inside they have this kind of park pilot setup, so there's parking sensors along the back of the car, parking sensors down along the front, and actually I've only realised you can kind of turn it on even while you're driving. You don't have to come up to objects. In terms of the front of the car, it's got that nice big grille on the front. There's front fog lights down low, and then after that it's got some nice chrome accents along the front grille as well. These Tiguans, actually, we sell a lot of CRVs and we sell a lot of Tucsons as well, but we always struggle to get the Tiguans in because the Volkswagen dealers, they just make their customers these absolutely massive offers on their cars to keep them in Volkswagen, so we find it so hard to get them in, but eventually we've managed to trade one in from somebody. The wheels are they're a 17-inch alloy wheel on the outside, and actually at a glance when you're looking at them they do appear a little bit bigger, but they are, I've checked it. Anyway, down along the bottom then you have black sections along the bottom, which are matched by black sections along through the middle, and that's matched quite nicely by black all around the window, so there's no chrome or anything like that. And then the roof rails are black as well, so sometimes on cars you'll see there's various kind of brushed aluminium and there's black and then there's colour coding, whereas with this one it's black all the way around and through the middle section on the top, so it just kind of comes together very well. And maybe it's the country person coming out to me, but the car actually has mud flaps all the way around, and I also think mud flaps just finish the car really nicely. The condition on the car, it's quite nice all the way through, but we will get it through. It has not been cleaned yet, I repeat, it has not been cleaned yet. Those lights look like a nice sort of LED bright light onto the number plate. And in terms of the boot then, there is a spare wheel, which is getting rare on a lot of cars. Boot space, I think it's longer than a Tucson, probably similar depth, so I would classify the boot as very good. And I'm assuming those back seats, they fall down and out of the way, then you actually get a massive load area in the back. The other thing I've noticed as well is there's a little light in through here for the boot as well, and further up into the corner there seems to be a 12-volt outlet as well. So in terms of the rear of the car then, there is brushed aluminium along through here, which matches that panel along through there for the door handle is. There's a speaker down here, there is electrics for windows, and obviously there's a child lock in through here as well. Moving inside the car then, there is actually really good space in the back. The headrests come up quite high, and the reason I've left that seat forward is it's actually able to recline, so I can drop the seat back a little bit more, a little bit more. Actually, to be fair, if the tonneau cover wasn't there, I could probably go all the way back as well, so it makes it really comfortable. Do you know what? This is weird actually. I haven't sat in the back of one of these before. The headroom is actually probably better than, well actually no, sorry, it's a little bit lower there, but in the center section it's really, really high. But sorry, anyway, the thing that's kind of thrown me is, how do you say this? Really deep, like weirdly deep, like, but in a good way. So or either that or the seats are much higher, but you see here, right, it actually makes, look where I can put my feet comfortably down under there, and look at that actually, that's really soft for, yeah, that's really, really comfortable. That's kind of unusual. I haven't come across that before. Sorry, I sound a bit kind of not really sure what I'm talking about, but it's just I haven't really come across this before, so it just seems like there's lots of space. You look at cars sometimes and there's loads of space in them, but this is kind of deep or something as well. So anyway, look, the byproduct of it is it's really comfortable. Then down through there as well, I see there is ventilation, a bit of storage, and a 12-volt outlet as well. And admittedly, just because of that deep floor well and the way that seat is kind of, do you know what actually, do you know what it's thrown me? You feel higher when you're sitting up in the back of this, so I actually think this is probably a very nice car to travel in the back of. Anyway, not sure if I mentioned already, Isofix is in through there, and just bear with me if you do see any little bits of dirt around the place, it's just because we haven't cleaned the car fully yet. But that is a really comfortable rear end of the car to sit in, and I'm not saying that because we have it for sale. Come try it, and then you can try a Tucson and a CRV. That is actually surprising. Back to the infotainment anyway, I just wanted to get out of the sun. Right, so radio in through there, that's fine. What I noticed last night was you press the stations button, See, nice big scroll, easy to use. That is, like, it's modern, but it's not that fancy in the way that it's really practical. Usual stuff like media over through there if you're using Bluetooth or various other sources. Phone is in through there, that's fine. And then after that, just general settings overall on the vehicle. Heating controls down through here with air conditioning and rear demister, and then after that automatic park brake. And one neat thing, these have an auto hold, which is nothing really majorly unusual, except for the difference on this one is if we have a Honda or a Hyundai, you press the auto hold. Every time you finish your journey and start a new journey, you have to press the auto hold again. This one stays on all the time. It never turns off, so that's really, really handy. If you want to use auto hold, you never have to be turning it on or off. Auto hold, by the way, if you're not familiar with it, you stop on a hill, you take your foot off the brake to go for the accelerator. Most cars will hold you for about 2 seconds before you roll backwards. The auto hold, when you have it turned on, won't ever let you roll backwards, and that's permanently on in this, so I actually think that's pretty cool. But you can turn it off if you don't want it. Other things down here then, there is an armrest with some storage, there's drinks holders in through here, and then auto stop start is fine, and the parking sensors, like we're saying, are front and rear, but I don't actually have to be near anything. I can just press the button and turn them on, and it also gives me, once the handbrake's off, it gives me trajectory of travel if I'm going forwards or backwards as well, so it's actually quite a nice system. And in my opinion, that's pretty much as good as any reverse camera. Some people might say, why have cars like these not got reverse cameras? Those kind of hard pilot, they kind of give you a sort of a 3D impression of what's around you anyway, so I think it's every bit as good as. So let's see what it's like to drive. Okay, I think I found one black mark for this car. I cannot, for the life of me, wedge my phone into the headrest properly, so there's a good chance it's going to fall down. Normally, if I go for a quick drive in the car, I get the headrest, I wedge the phone into it, and there's loads of ways you can do it. It's grand, it works fine. This is barely hanging on to the headrest, don't move far enough for some reason. So anyway, I apologise about the not so interesting camera work here, but this appears to be the only angle I can get this to work. Yeah, weird. Anyway, there's 115 horsepower in this car, which is about the same as a 1.7 turbo diesel Tucson, but because the displacement's bigger at 2 litres, I do feel this is a torquier motor, definitely. I drove this car home last night, which is about a 200 kilometre round trip, and like we're saying, yeah, no, it's definitely a torquier engine than the... So even though they got the same horsepower, this definitely feels quicker. Accelerates well, and it sits nice on the back road as well. So some of the roads I was on last night, they ain't too nice, so it actually is quite a comfortable car on the back road. The gearbox is pretty sweet as well, actually, to use. So there is our 2-litre Tiguan Trendline. If there's any information you want on this car, please do give me a call. 086 843 1945. Brian is my name. Information about finance, information about this car, or information about trading. Hopefully the video is useful, hopefully the car has been of interest. Thank you for taking time to watch.